Everyone has demons. Everyone has things in them that don't quite work correctly. And that's what norms are for. Norms are things to help you keep those demons to yourself where you can deal with them on your own, so society doesn't have to deal with them at large, and you can do things. So you can all go to work in an office or anywhere and work together on whatever you're supposed to do that day and not deal with those demons, because it's not the norm to bring those to work. That's something that you work on personally. So we've been, exposed all these politicians, and now that we've taken away the norms, and we see that they are full of all these demons, and everybody's going, oh my God, that's just terrible. But we're all full of the same demons. That's why they invented church in the first place. That's where we get this idea of demons. The bad parts of ourselves is from religion, because we were trying to create norms for society where we could act better and then work in concert and do the great things like build skyscrapers and airplanes, because you have to have your demons under control to do those things, and norms are what allow us to do that. Now, norms change, and as society evolves, we need to change the norms, and religion was 2,000 years ago. It's certainly a wonderful time to create new norms, but we need them, and we need to realize that all of these people that are at the top that have made it through the norm system and are, on the ones that we idolize and listen to, and they get all the views just because they're movie stars or politicians. And then we find out that inside they're just as corrupt as hell. Well, really, if we were exposed, we would all, to some degree or another, be just like that. They are just more of us. And it's the norms that even give us this idea that there could be a person different. And that's an ideal that we're all shooting for, and it makes us better over time. We are much better because of religion over the past 2,000 years. Yes, we have evolved as a race into a much better. It doesn't mean we're less violent, less full of hatred, but it means we've made a lot of cool stuff and we've advanced, and it's the norms that have allowed us to work in concert to advance. And it's not about being happy. It's not about making hate and anger and violence go away. Hate and anger and violence are as much a part of the universe, and you can look around and see that with meteors and everything else, hurricanes and tornadoes, as love and kindness and caring, and they are both equally important, and they are both here to stay, but we can use norms to harness them, make them work in concert, and then we move the human race forward. So we're going to have norms like we had in the past, and then we have to act like we're living up to those norms in person. And people, at least now we can realize that that's really not the real person, but that's how we got the idea that in the past people were, so wonderful. They never were. None of us ever were. And we have to get back to an understanding of who we are as human beings, that we are part of this universe, that we are full of violence and anger and hatred, as well as love, kindness, and caring, and then make norms of how we're going to behave together, and use that to keep our personal problems to ourselves, where we can work on them with friends and family and professionals, and then come to work without that and move humanity forward again.